I'm not here to imitate anyone else's voice. This is an original, unfiltered message from a mentor who wants to hand you the kind of clarity most men never get. So, listen closely. Right now, there's a gap between how you move through the world and how women feel you. You might be doing 100 things right on paper and still not creating that visceral pull, the kind that short-circuits overthinking and makes desire feel inevitable. The problem isn't that you're not good enough. The problem is that no one taught you the real language of attraction, how your breath, your pauses, your choices, your boundaries, your presence all transmit signals more loudly than any line you say. When you dial these signals in, women experience you differently. They relax around you while simultaneously feeling that wild, magnetic curiosity. Who is this man? What would it feel like to be chosen by him? Stay with me until the end, because you're about to learn 8 behaviors that flip those switches, not with gimmicks or games, but with the kind of masculine presence that makes desire feel safe to surrender to. Start with this: your center. Before words, before gestures, before any move you make, a woman's nervous system scans you for one thing. Are you calm in yourself, or do you need something from her to feel okay? If you need, she feels it instantly. The restless eyes, the quick speech, the subtle lean-in that begs for approval. Neediness collapses desire because it turns you into a taker. The first behavior is to become unreactive at your core. Slow your breathing until your chest settles. Let silence hang a second longer than your comfort allows. Keep eye contact without straining for it. Let your gaze be soft, steady, and unhurried. When you ground yourself like this, you become a quiet signal of safety. Safety is not boring. Safety is what allows tension to build without tipping into anxiety. She can lean into the moment because you're not going to wobble. You set the tempo, and your tempo says, "Nothing can rush me." It's astonishing how quickly this alone shifts the dynamic. You stop chasing moments and start creating them. If this is already shifting how you see yourself, stay with me. We're just getting warmed up. Now, once your center is set, you shape the frame. Most men outsource framing. They wait for the situation or the woman to decide the vibe. Second behavior, you lead decisively, lightly. Leadership here isn't control. It's direction with openness. Let's grab coffee at that hidden spot on the corner. Wednesday works. 7:30. If you're in, I'll book it. Simple. Crisp. You propose a plan that fits your world, not a supplication disguised as a question. What she feels is relief. Someone is actually steering. Decision is arousing because it reads as competence. You're not running her life. You're creating a container. The subtext says, "I can hold the moment." A woman doesn't want to carry you. She wants to feel your spine. So decide things: where to sit, when to move, how to handle disruptions. Not rigidly, calibrated. If she offers a strong preference, you adapt without losing your center. Perfect. Let's do that. This blend of direction and flexibility is intoxicating because it communicates both strength and attunement. Desire thrives in that balance. Third, cultivate attuned curiosity. Men often think attraction is a delivery of charm. It's not. It's a dance of attention. Ask the obvious questions and you become a blur in her memory. Ask the real ones and you turn the volume up on her inner world. What would your perfect Saturday feel like, minute by minute? When did you last surprise yourself? What did you have to learn the hard way? Then listen in a way most men never do. Hips squared, shoulders relaxed, eyes on her, interruptions cut to zero. Let your face show what lands. Reflect her phrasing back once or twice to prove you were actually there. Women want to be felt, not analyzed. They want to experience that your attention doesn't jump ship the moment you're not speaking. This is not performative empathy. It's the habit of letting someone be fully seen in your field. And there's a deeper reason it works. Desire expands in the presence of understanding. When she senses that you grasp the nuance of her world, her guard lowers. Now she can play. She can flirt. She can tease. She can step into the dance because she feels met. That's when attraction stops being a negotiation and starts being an exploration. Fourth behavior, playful polarity. Don't mistake this for sarcasm or meanness. You're not trying to cut her down. You're igniting spark through contrast. Polarity is the art of being both warm and unshakably sovereign. It sounds like this. She says she always wins at anything competitive. You tilt your head, slow your smile, and say, "You're adorable when you make bold claims. We'll test that." She challenges your taste in music. You grin and say, "I'll convert you. You just haven't been introduced properly." It's light pressure, the kind that invites her to push back. Your tone makes it clear you're not hostile. You're inviting play. In play, attraction breathes. Tension rises, because you're not eager to please nor eager to overpower. You're dancing on the line where challenge meets admiration. The key is calibration. If she's sensitive or reserved, you soften the edges. If she's fiery, you dial it up. This is where your unreactive center matters. You can't playfully challenge if you're secretly seeking validation. When you're good either way, your teasing becomes an aphrodisiac rather than a test. Fifth, embody presence with your body, not just your words. Your posture is a broadcast. Shoulders down and back, head level, movements unhurried. When you sit, take space like you belong. When you stand, plant your feet evenly. Don't bounce. Move like nothing is more important than this moment, but the moment doesn't own you. Your voice matters even more. Lower, not forced, paced like you trust your words to land without being chased. Pause intentionally. Silence is the punctuation that makes sentences worth hearing. Slow down at the end of a point. Let the last few words drop rather than trail off. Women feel voices. They feel cadence. They feel the energy of a man who isn't competing with the room for attention, but draws it by relaxing more deeply into himself. Grooming and style slot into this too. Choose textures, scents, and fits that feel like you. Clean, deliberate, understated. When you look like you care about yourself, she can imagine caring about you too. Attraction is multisensory. Don't be the guy who only focuses on conversation while his presence whispers neglect. Sixth behavior, standards and boundaries, expressed with calm clarity. Nothing heightens desire like a man who knows what he will and won't entertain without being defensive. If she flakes twice, you don't spiral. You say, "Let's circle back when your schedule stabilizes." I don't do maybes. If a conversation veers into disrespect, you don't lecture. You reset or you walk. You don't weaponize withdrawal. You simply live by standards that make self-respect non-negotiable. Women test for this unconsciously. They want to feel your edges because edges create shape. Without shape, there's nothing to lean into. Set timelines, start and end dates, arrival windows, and stick to them. You teach people how to treat you by how you respond to small things. The paradox is that boundaries feel like freedom to a feminine nervous system. They remove ambiguity, and in removing ambiguity, they create safety. Safety allows desire to roar because it's not busy scanning for threats or mixed signals. Seventh, live from purpose. This is not motivational poster talk. It's the quiet gravity that comes from orienting your days toward something bigger than approval. When your life is aimed at a mission, you stop negotiating your worth with strangers. You stop auditioning. You stop trying to be interesting and become interested in mastery, in craft, in contribution. You're not asking a woman to complete you. You're inviting her into a world already in motion. Think about the men who naturally pull attention without trying. They have a direction. They're building something, learning something, refining something. Purpose rearranges the energy in a room because it makes you less available for triviality while making you more alive in your lane. Women feel this immediately. It's not the content of your job that matters. It's the posture of ownership over your path. You can sweep floors with purpose and be magnetic, or run a company without it and be hollow. Purpose says, "I choose my life." Desire follows choice. Eighth behavior, escalation with attunement and consent. Desire is a staircase, not a leap. You climb it by reading the moment with respect. If the vibe is there, eye contact lingering, faces close, the rhythm of conversation falling into a slow back and forth, you close the gap a little. You touch lightly on the forearm while making a point, then release. You notice how she responds. Leans in, matches your smile, mirrors your posture. You let tension build. Then, when it's right, you make a clear move. "I want to kiss you." A direct, grounded statement that gives her space to meet you. No begging, no sneaking, no testing her defenses, an invitation that honors her agency. This is infinitely more arousing than trying to trick your way forward, because the underlying signal is, I want you, and I'm strong enough to be honest about it. Women remember the men who create a clean, unmistakable yes. They forget the ones who tried to slide past clarity to avoid rejection. Be the man who can hear no, and because of that, create the space where yes feels exhilarating. You've got the 8 behaviors, but let me braid them together and show you how they move as one. Imagine you're arriving at a new spot, small, warm lighting, music low enough to talk. You walk in unhurried, your breath steady, eyes taking in the room. You choose a table with intent, away from chaos, close enough to feel the pulse. She arrives. You stand to greet her. You hold eye contact for that extra heartbeat that says you're not nervous and you're not numb, you're here. You lead casually. I grab this table. It's the best spot to people watch. As you sit, you let the silence breathe. Then you ask something that opens her up rather than boxes her in. When she laughs, you let it land. When she pushes back, you smile like you enjoy resistance. Your body is relaxed, not slumped. Your voice sits in your chest. You're curious without interrogating. If the server interrupts, you handle it smoothly. If the schedule shifts, you adapt. She feels like she's with a man who can surf life instead of drowning in it. You're not demonstrating tricks. You're radiating habits. Desire, at its core, is the interplay between safety and thrill. Too much safety without spark, and she respects you but doesn't crave you. Too much thrill without safety, and she's intrigued but wary. These behaviors tune that balance. Your calm center is the safety. Your decisive leading is the safety. Your boundaries are the safety. Your playful polarity is the thrill. Your embodied presence is the thrill. Your escalating with attunement is the thrill. Your curiosity bridges them. It makes safety feel intimate and thrill feel earned. And your purpose? That's the foundation under it all. It tells her, this isn't the highlight of your week. You are the highlight of your week because your life is. Paradoxically, that makes you even more compelling to be with. There's a mental shift that locks this in. Stop trying to be chosen. Choose. Not rudely, not arrogantly, but honestly. When you're evaluating, you show up different. You're not afraid to disagree. You're not trying to match her tempo. You're inviting her into yours. You'll feel the relief instantly. It's exhausting to perform for approval. It's electric to reveal yourself and see who responds. That revelation is the root of attraction, not the mask, not the role. The man beneath all that, speaking clearly, moving steadily, holding his line. That's the man she can imagine undressing with her eyes because she knows he's not going to collapse under the weight of her desire. Let's drill deeper into attuned curiosity, because this is where men either get friend-zoned or remembered. Surface questions create surface feelings. Depth creates heat. When she mentions a place she loves, don't ask, why? Ask, what happens to your body the moment you land there? You're pulling her out of analysis into sensation. When she shares a goal, don't immediately swap stories about your own. Sit in her world for another minute. What part of you does that scratch? The part that wants peace or the part that wants to prove something? This kind of questioning is rare because it requires you to care more about learning than impressing. But when you do it, her imagination opens, and desire lives in imagination. You're not just another guy hitting checkpoints, you're a man who co-creates a private world with her words. That's unforgettable. And a word on humor. It's not the punchline, it's the looseness. When you're comfortable enough to amuse yourself, tension dissolves. You don't need to perform. You notice what's ridiculous and enjoy it out loud. The couple next to you is arguing about napkins like it's international policy. You catch her eye and smirk. You're not mocking others, you're inviting her into the bubble where the two of you can delight in the human theater. Humor is bonding. It turns strangers into co-conspirators. But keep it clean. No bitterness, no cruelty. The kind of humor that sharpens attraction is the kind that opens, not wounds. Let's talk about silence again, because silence is your secret weapon. Men fear silence because it reveals nerves. But when you embrace it, silence becomes a gravity well. You ask a question and let it hang. You share a story and let the final line breathe. When you feel the impulse to fill the space, you soften your belly and do nothing. In that stillness, she leans in, not always consciously. Her whole body wants to fill the space with closeness. Silence invites. It is the opposite of pressure. It makes the eventual touch, the eventual kiss, feel like a natural continuation of a rhythm you established together, a caution that will increase your power tenfold. Never speak badly about past partners. It might feel like a way to bond or explain yourself. It is not. It advertises poor judgment and unstable energy. Hold your past with dignity. If asked, be concise, be kind, be done. High-caliber women listen for this. They want to see if you can hold complexity without sprinting to blame. That ability is sexy because it points to emotional range. Emotional range means you can witness her moods without being a slave to them. And that means she can relax deeper into her feminine flow around you, which is where desire amplifies. Another amplifier: constraint. Most men try to win women with access. More texts, more availability, more constant commentary. Counterintuitively, limited attention makes your presence more valuable. This doesn't mean playing cold or keeping score. It means living a life that naturally limits your exposure while increasing the quality of your moments. When you do text, you're crisp, playful, purposeful. Tuesday 8, tiny jazz bar. If you don't like it, I'll buy you ice cream as compensation. When you leave, you leave. No endless follow-ups that drain the charge. Mystery isn't pretending. It's simply not dumping your entire autobiography in a single day. Let her earn chapters. Let the story unfold. Anticipation is a form of desire. Build it. I want you to internalize a simple sequence you can carry into any interaction. Center, observe, lead, invite. Center. 3 deep breaths, shoulders soft, eyes steady. Observe. What's the energy of the space? What's her tempo? What tiny detail can you genuinely appreciate? The ring that looks like it carries history, the book in her bag, the way she scans the room like she's cataloging stories. Lead. Move the moment forward with a proposal. Change locations, shift topics, order something to share. Invite. Open a door for intimacy. Ask a deeper question. Offer a sincere compliment that reveals your taste rather than her compliance. Repeat the cycle. Every loop turns attraction up a notch without forcing it. If a moment falters, don't scramble. Reset. Name what's true lightly. We got heavy for a second, let's walk for a minute. Or, we're both starving. Let's solve that first. Owning the state of the moment instead of pretending it isn't happening showcases a rare kind of maturity. It's steadying. She doesn't have to manage your feelings. She can relax into the current of yours. What if she's high status, pursued constantly, used to winning? Perfect. Your unreactive center rises to meet it. You won't outflash the men competing for her attention. You'll outcalibrate them. You'll show curiosity instead of performance, standards instead of neediness, play instead of hostility. The higher her options, the more she values the man who refuses to be starstruck or combative. You don't pedestal her. You place her in context. One compelling woman in a life that's already rich. That's where your advantage lives. What about rejection? It's not a verdict on your worth. It's feedback on fit, timing, or calibration. When you hold rejection cleanly, no problem, I'm glad we met, you become rarer instantly. You don't punish, you don't cling, you don't bargain. And strangely enough, this is often what flips the script later. She remembers the man who stayed composed, not the one who turned sour or needy. But that's not why you do it. You do it because your dignity isn't up for negotiation. Desire respects a man who won't sell his self-respect for attention. There's one more layer: your relationship with your own desire. If you're ashamed of wanting, you'll act sideways. Over-friendliness hiding a craving for touch, or faux detachment hiding fear. Clean desire sounds like this. I like how you think. I want to see you again. I love this energy between us. I'm attracted to you. Delivered calmly, without grasping, it lands as truth rather than pressure. Too many men outsource desire to the woman, waiting to be invited. That kills polarity. Own what you want. Just remember, the power is not in the wanting. It's in the willingness to walk if the wanting isn't mutual. That's the edge that keeps your presence bright. If what you've heard so far is waking up that part of you that always knew you were capable of more, stay with me. I want you to carry a visualization into your next interaction. See yourself as the eye of a storm. Calm in the center, motion all around. You're not frozen, you're fluid. You speak slowly enough to feel your words vibrate in your chest. You notice the color of her eyes and the micro expressions that flash when something hits. You enjoy the spark without trying to cage it. You step forward when the door opens. You step back when the door closes. The whole time, you're enjoying yourself. Not because you're winning or losing, but because you're practicing the art of being a man who lives by his own rhythm. That energy is rare. That energy is craved. So here's your daily practice, and it's simple. 1. Set your body every morning, 5 minutes of breath to thicken your center. 2. Choose one decision each day that you state out loud without apology. 3. Ask one person a question that touches the edges of their truth. 4. Find one moment to let silence stretch. 5. Notice one boundary and hold it cleanly. 6. Do one thing for your purpose. Study, build, train. 7. Refine your presence, posture, voice, the way your hands rest. 8. When desire is mutual, say the thing you want to say clearly. Do this for 30 days and your baseline will change. The world will respond differently because you'll be broadcasting differently. If this is hitting something inside you, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. Tell me which of these behaviors you're going to practice first and where you suspect you've been leaking your power. If you know a brother who needs to hear this, someone who's been stuck in his head overthinking texts, chasing for crumbs, send this to him today. Don't keep it to yourself. Men are starving for this kind of guidance because deep down, we all know it's not about tricks. It's about becoming the kind of man who makes desire feel like the most natural thing in the world. When you walk away from this, remember the core reframe. You're not here to convince anyone. You're here to reveal yourself, steadily, cleanly, unapologetically, and see who is drawn to that signal. You can learn countless techniques, but if they're built on a shaky core, they crumble under pressure. Anchor first, lead lightly, listen deeply, play boldly, carry standards, live on purpose, escalate with respect. Do this and you won't need to force anything. You'll watch desire bloom in the space you create. And when it does, honor it. Honor her. Honor yourself. If this resonates and you want more, subscribe now so you don't miss what comes next. We're just getting started.